To set up Kubernetes cluster, let's go ahead and SSH into CentOS machine. Let's go ahead and update our system. This will go ahead and download all the latest security patches for CentOS. Okay, this may take a little longer. I will go ahead and pause the video and resume as soon as it is done. Alright, now that our system is up to date, let's go ahead and disable swap. If you do not disable the swap, your Kubernetes configuration will fail. So to do that, what we'll do is we're gonna go to fs tab file and we're gonna comment this line. To do that, press I and comment this line and go ahead and press escape, shift : WQ to save and exit. To apply the changes, let's go ahead and reboot the system. Once the system has been rebooted, go ahead and log on back. Okay, we got a login prompt. Now we'll go ahead and install Docker. That is one of the prerequisites to run Kubernetes cluster. Let's go ahead and type sudo yum install -y docker. Once again, I will go ahead and pause this video and come back as soon as the installation is completed. Alright, now that our Docker and its dependencies are successfully installed, let's go ahead and start Docker and enable it so that we can start Docker upon reboot every time. I'm going to go to this website, copy this command, where is it, here, and execute it. It will go ahead and create a service and start Docker. Let's execute one more command to see what Docker version we are using. Okay, we are using Docker version 1.13.1 as a server and same as a client. To install Kubernetes packages, we need to copy this line of code to configure yum repository so that way we can reach out to Kubernetes repo and download all the required packages. Before we download any Kubernetes packages, we need to go ahead and disable SE Linux. This can be done after the Kubernetes package installation as well, but I prefer to do it before. Alright, so now that the SE Linux is disabled, let's go ahead and download Kubernetes packages. Here are the three packages it's going to download. Is kubelet, I think that's how it is said, and there's kubeadm that will use it to administer and manage, or you can say create a Kubernetes cluster. And there's a kubectl command that will allow us to get the pod status, apply new deployments, or anything that you can do with Kubernetes. This is going to be our primary command to do all the configurations within Kubernetes cluster. So let's go ahead and copy this command and execute it. Once again, this may take a little longer, so I will go ahead and pause this video and resume it as soon as the installation is successful. All right, after successful installation of Kubernetes packages, let's go ahead and follow the next step. One of the steps is to allow port 6443 and 10250 port from the master node, so all the worker node can communicate with the master node. Let's go ahead and execute that command. Okay, looks like it succeeded successfully. We're gonna go ahead and apply some IP table configurations as well. So now, in order to apply this IP table configuration, we need to execute this command and one more as well. Okay, all right, now we are ready to set up Kubernetes cluster. So to set up Kubernetes cluster, I prefer to download all the required Kubernetes pod images. So I'll go ahead and execute this command, and it will go ahead and download like a Kubernetes proxy, core DNS, API server, scheduler, and several other pods that are required to run on Kubernetes masternode. This may take a little longer, so I'll go ahead and pause this video and come back as soon as it has completed downloading all the images. All right, we have pulled all the images from the Google container registry. We'll now go ahead and initialize the cluster. We're gonna type this command. In this case, I'll go ahead and copy and paste. And again, remember, as I told you earlier, to disable swap. If you didn't disable the swap and when you execute this command, it would throw this error. So let's go ahead and execute this command, and we're gonna apply this IP range for our pod networking. It's going to generate some keys, certificates, some core Kubernetes configurations for the master node. And if you didn't pull the images earlier, as I did, what it would do is at this point, prior to this, it would go to container registry online and it will pull all the images. And this may take forever to initialize your Kubernetes masternode. All right, so the Kubernetes configuration was successful, and it is telling us to apply these changes on the masternode. And what it will do is it's going to create a kube folder within your user home directory. And it's going to copy this admin.config file from etc Kubernetes location to your user profile within kube.config, and you can use this config file on your client machine, like on your Windows node, or from wherever you want to manage your Kubernetes cluster, and it will allow you to connect to this Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and the next step is to apply the pod network, and what we will do is we'll go to this page, and we're gonna copy this command. What it will do is it's gonna create a new deployment, and it's gonna apply the pod networking. I'm going to show you how it's gonna look before you apply the pod networking. So go ahead and type kubectl get pods -a. As you can see that it spun up several containers over here, and you see the core DNS is in the pending mode right now. It's gonna stay like this until you apply networking, and we're gonna use a kube flannel, and that's one of the most easiest networking parts that will allow you to communicate within your Kubernetes cluster. All right, so the deployment was successful, let's take a look at the status. So it looks like it is downloading the container image, and as soon as the container image is downloaded, it's gonna start the Flannel pod, and then you will see the core DNS coming in the running state. So let's check how it looks. Okay, it is still in pending. We're gonna give a couple more seconds and check back again. Okay, still in pending, so let's wait a few more minutes. I'm going to pause this video and come back. Okay, as you can see, all the pods are in the running state. Now here you have successfully deployed and configured your Kubernetes cluster.